Is fasted cardio better for fat loss, especially when you're a woman over 40 like me? Stay tuned to learn whether or not it's better to eat before hitting the treadmill, or if you really can burn more fat by going into your cardio workout fasted. Before we start blasting some fat, please click like and subscribe. This helps me help you finally get the scale to budge by showing you all of the tricks that help me achieve my health and fitness goals after 40. Hey, I'm Nissa, and my 100-pound weight loss story was featured in media like People magazine and Pop Sugar. Since then, I've helped hundreds of women break free from fad and yo-yo diets with the same simple macro approach I used to lose 100 pounds. Okay, let's talk about whether or not fasted cardio for fat loss is a good idea, especially for women over 40. Now, I've personally done fasted cardio workouts first thing in the morning for as long as I can remember. Back when I was a 20-something in Chicago, there were many mornings when I woke up at 4:30, popped open a can of low-carb Monster, and got to work on the elliptical that I kept in my bedroom. Back then, I didn't really wonder whether or not fasted cardio was better at burning fat. That just happened to be the time of day that I'd actually stick to my workout, since I knew I wouldn't have the motivation to exercise after working all day, plus another 2 to 3 hours spent on my commute. Now that I understand how the fat loss process really works, these days I do wonder, does fasted cardio even make a difference? So I looked into it, and the answer is surprisingly no. Wait, what? What about all of the claims so many weight loss gurus make about burning more body fat with fasted cardio, since you're not burning the food that you just ate? Well, the studies are in, and the studies show that people actually lose the same amount of weight with both fasted and fed cardio as long as calories are equated. However, even though studies show that fat burn is the same with both forms of cardio, I personally stick with fasted cardio most days, and I have some pretty good reasons for doing so. So why do I feel like I still get better results with fasted cardio? Well, the biggest reason that I sneak in a fasted walk most mornings is that starting my day with exercise helps me start my day on the right foot, both figuratively and literally. Making exercise my priority as soon as I get out of bed helps me start the day with a habit that not only improves my health, but it also helps me take another step towards my fat loss goal. Or in my case, usually around 6,000 steps, since that's about how many steps I get in during an hour of fasted walking each morning. And even if you could only fit in 20 or 30 minutes of walking first thing in the morning, those daily 2,000 or 3,000 steps add up to more fat loss, since if you want to lose more fat, more movement actually does matter. And for anyone who thinks it doesn't, have you seen the staggering weight gain that happened once they closed all of the gyms down in 2020? Also, starting my day with a morning walk, it not only helps me start the day with a healthy habit, but I also get a big portion of my daily movement out of the way before most people are even up and out of bed. In fact, according to Dr. Huberman, adding exercise early in the day can actually help you establish this habit if exercise is a habit that you've been struggling to establish. In a recent podcast, he said if you struggle with a health-related goal, such as adding more walking for weight loss, the best time of day to start this habit is within the first 8 hours of waking up. The reason this works so well is this is the time of day that you're actually more motivated to fit in exercise. Now, of course, if you decide to add fasted walking to your fat loss morning routine, this habit is only going to contribute to your fat loss goal as long as you don't use it as an excuse to overeat later in the day. Also, just because you're active first thing, that's not an excuse to sit around the remaining 23 hours of the day. Hopefully, you can do the math and figure out that 1 hour of activity each day does not wipe out 23 hours of sitting on your butt, aka burning the least calories possible throughout the day. Another reason I keep fasted cardio as a morning habit is it helps me push my eating window out until later in the day. Now, I no longer practice longer fasts solely for the purpose of weight loss, but I notice that I do tend to eat less throughout the day when I fast somewhere like 14 to 15 hours. When I wake up and I hit the treadmill first thing, now I'm no longer eating the second that I'm out of bed. This makes it easy to complete that 15-hour fast since I typically stop eating somewhere like 3 hours before bedtime. Then I sleep for 8 hours, add in that hour walk, which actually makes me less hungry. So then I typically wait another hour or two before I eat. So all added up, I end up fasting somewhere from around 6 p.m. until 8:30 a.m. most days without even really giving it a second thought. Okay, another reason I love fasted cardio is the mental clarity and energy it gives me so early in the day. Now, this is something I noticed way back when I was waking up at 4:30 to fit in a workout. On the days I did a fasted workout first thing, I had so much energy by the time I got to work. But I noticed on the days that I skipped this workout that I would be dragging most of the morning. Now, if you're thinking that using up all of that energy with morning cardio is only going to drain you for the rest of the day, I promise you that once your body gets used to it, moderate cardio like a brisk walk, it actually has the opposite effect. That's because as humans, we are meant to move. And believe it or not, more movement really does give you more energy. Now, if you don't believe me, then next time you are feeling tired and you're sitting around on the couch, I want you to get up and I want you to do about a minute's worth of jumping jacks. Then take time to assess if you have more energy than when you were just sitting around on the couch, or, now if you suddenly feel energized after doing the jumping jacks. Okay, if you're considering added fasting cardio to your daily routine, I wanted to give you a few quick tips to help you get started. Now, number one, and this is so important, you need to prioritize sleep over exercise. Now, remember when I said that I was waking up at 4:30 most mornings to fit in my workout? I'm willing to bet that my sleep habits back then weren't the best because I was only in my mid-20s. But these days, I make sure that I get enough sleep by getting to bed most nights by 9:30. And even though my husband makes fun of my early bedtime, if you don't prioritize sleep, then don't expect to reach your fat loss goals. Basically, if you want to lose fat, you need high quality sleep, end of story. But when you make a habit of skipping Netflix or you stop scrolling on your phone before bed and you instead prioritize sleep, then you can wake up a little bit earlier in order to sneak in a quick workout. Another helpful tip is to keep your morning workouts at a moderate intensity most days. Now, I previously made the mistake of attempting HIIT style cardio, which is high intensity interval training, pretty much every single morning because I thought it burned the most calories. And while a good old fashioned HIIT workout can burn through calories more quickly, these workouts aren't really all that helpful if it leads to overeating later in the day. They're also not helpful if you use up all of your energy to get through your workout and then you end up sedentary for the remainder of the day. Remember, more movement matters, and since you burn way more calories every day with your NEAT activity, which is just random movements you make throughout the day, like moving your arms, than you do with EAT calories, and this is your formal exercise calories, you don't want to use up all of your energy during your morning workout and then become a couch potato for the rest of the day, or in a lot of people's situation, a desk potato. Now, with that said, I personally preferred incline treadmill walking as my fasted morning cardio. And the reason for this is it helps me break a sweat, but I'm also keeping my rate in a more moderate zone too, and I actually really enjoy it. Now, these kinds of walks are also a great tool for recovery from the harder resistance trainings that I'm doing a few times each week. Okay, finally, I like to start my workout with a little bit of caffeine, like maybe a cup of green tea. While it is a good idea for most people to push out caffeine for around 60 to 90 minutes after waking up, I find that having at least a small amount of caffeine before my workout puts just a little bit more pep in my step. It also helps me enjoy the walk more, and I just naturally add a little bit more intensity to the workout. If you are looking to add more movement into your day for more fat loss, sneaking in some fasted cardio, like a brisk walk, could be just what you need. Use the tips that I just mentioned to help you get started. Now, speaking of tips, if you want my 5 best fat loss tips for women over 40, make sure to grab my free guide at eatingfatisthenewskinny.com/tips. I will add that to the link below as well, and I'll also add personal one-on-one coaching info in case you are inspired to take your fat loss program to the next level.